Hello. It is now 7 o'clock, and where is it? This is what we're looking for. There we go. It's time to welcome everybody to another episode of the CLW 22 and No Bad Pixie Power Hour. Because that gentleman decided that he has other things to do tonight, which fair enough. So, what I will be doing is I'm going to be playing Humankind. I'm going to start a new game. It'll be the third game, sort of, that I've played, second game that I've started outside of, like, the tutorial missions. Yeah, it should be pretty exciting. I guess we can go over, like, what settings I'm going to do. I'm going to do 8 people. I tried doing 10 last night, and I think that might be too much. I also really messed up the map generation last night, because I had some very weird stuff. Want a huge map, even though it's going to be a bit big, I think. Custom shape, the continent shape, I think I just want, like, pretty regular continents, or maybe average, because... Yeah, we're going to go with average, because that sounds most interesting. A standard climate, because I don't want anything too weird. It's a bit early in my Humankind career to be playing something a bit stranger. I'm going to go with a standard climate. 30% land seems reasonable. Anything more is a bit much. I think where I really messed up last night was I had 40% land with a ton of continents. And also chaotic continent spread, but I want them to be, like, pretty far apart. I find it pretty unexciting if the continents are too close together, because, like, if they're 3 like hexes apart, it's almost like they're the same continent to me. It's kind of a weird thought, but they're basically on the same space or plane of space. And that's not really what I wanted to play. So we want some islands. I like having a new world, like a continent with nobody on it. I think it's cool. I would really like to have, like, just, like, accurate world map option here. And I think the fact that there isn't is kind of disappointing, but, you know, it is what it is. We want both hemispheres. Random world generation seed, regular continent spread, regular continent form. Is it regular? I kind of want chaotic. I kind of like that idea. We'll just probably try. Let's try chaotic. That could be fun. Actually, that might be too much. I think we're just gonna go with regular because it's probably easier. And I'm not great at this game. I've only played like 8 hours. Yeah, so that's basically the settings we're going to use. The difficulty, we're going with Metropolis. I really like the longer game, so I'm going to go with a 600 turn game. So endless. Yeah, now we can start. It takes a little bit to render everything into the game. have to finish.
Our universe.
So yeah, I've watched this a couple times, but I'll watch it again because I haven't watched it
Most
on
of which are about rocks and ice,
YouTube, and I think it does like
sub-zero temperatures in a vacuum.
a good job of
However, on a
bringing
small
people
damp
into the
rock,
game.
there is a story that bears a second look. It's your story. But the first 4 billion years or so mostly concern amino acids. Not much of a page turner. But then, over time, the amino acids bond together, and things start to get interesting and a bit drier. A certain subspecies of hominid discovers that you can do more
I will
with a
say
sharp rock
that there is
than
no
annoy your
higher
little brother. Tools
pursuit than
and
annoying
weapons
your
are
little brother.
invented.
So
The hominids begin to cooperate.
really, we had already peaked.
Fire becomes a servant rather than an unpredictable force of nature. They learn to tan the skins of animals for clothing. They learn ways to record and probably exaggerate their adventures. Eventually, these tribes learn to build shelters and immediately hold the first barbecue parties. This is the dawn of humankind. Struggle and cooperation have been rewarded. The Neolithic era draws to a close. The whole world beckons. This tribe has come far, but the rest of their story is your story. You are the one who will build them into a great civilization.
Yes, I will.
How far will you push humankind?
Until
A
the
new
world
era,
is
a
uninhabitable.
new epoch. While your tribe looks to you for leadership, the weight of all those future, unborn generations also weighs upon
This
you.
actually might be a good place to
What sort
build
of
a
lives
settlement when we
will
can.
they have?
I can't actually even look right now, but it looks like there's like all the rivers have a bunch of industry, which is nice, and there's a bunch of food options here. So like maybe like right in here would be good.
Just because a culture died out doesn't mean it wasn't worthy of study.
Actually, even over here, it's like the same idea. Excuse me. All of the river stuff has, or in the forest as well, there's a lot of industry. And there's still food tiles around. Some food.
Delicious. Though next time, it might be better if you washed it first.
It's a good joke. So right now we're just basically like going around looking for points of interest or like animals to hunt. Yeah, I was right. This is a really, really powerful starting spot. I think 10 and 15 is a lot of stats. So we have our first event. Seed of an idea. Yesterday the tribe came across a vast tract of wild grain, the stalks swaying in the breeze like the wind playing over golden waters. The ground down grain could feed the tribe twice over, but one of the tribal elders had another idea. Instead of pounding the seeds into flour, she suggested planting half of them so the grasses may return next summer. It is a curious idea at odds with a nomadic life, but perhaps a harbinger of the future. What should you do? So, this is okay. Gives you extra food on the city or outpost, but I don't think that's like that good. I think like a reduced domestication cost is like really powerful because it gets you closer to having a science star. Oh, I was actually doing this to get my outpost over here. I think building this outpost is going to slow us down a little bit in terms of both exploration and advancing to the next era, because it's going to take a few turns to get over there. Oh, but we're very lucky that there's just like a ton of food right there. So that's good. Yeah, I think I want to continue exploring upwards. I think there's actually a bunch of really good city spots over here too. Ooh, so we've doubled our tribe size. But I don't think I want to split yet in case I run into like a bear or a woolly mammoth. They're a bit more powerful than a single hunting party. So I think we found like the rough coastline of the continent. So I think if we follow that, we should be good. So now we have violent pursuits. The last winter was especially harsh, the ground hard and the frost chilling to the bone. In the heart of the settlement, the tribe huddled close to share warmth through the coldest days. But for some it wasn't enough. Some needed to get their blood flowing, and they found a means through violent games, grappling, fighting, contests of strength and endurance. One contest where opponents fight with hide-bound fists has gained quite a following, to the point that the outpost's usual foraging missions are under threat. What is your say on this new pursuit? So if we encourage -5 food, which is kind of bad, and nomadic tribe +2 combat strength on unit, which I don't really like. We could forbid, which gives us bountiful for 20 turns, which is a long time. It's a lot of the early part of the game. Or we could codify and get another 25% off on domestication. I think I'm going to forbid. I think I want the early food to try and gain population on my settlement. Even though there's nothing wrong with a little boxing.
We move.
So let's continue up here.
Onward. This way.
Oh, we have to go all the way around. Oops. It can be hard for me to tell where like the elevation is too high for my people to go down. But I guess I can see it kind of more now.
This way. My people. What's over there?
Kind of hopeful that I'm the only empire on this continent. That would be nice. But it's kind of unlikely.
We move.
Especially since it seems like it goes pretty far up this way. This is the Hunter Star, yeah. Another ancient encampment. Oh, so this is like actually like the hard coast. So it looks like there's another continent over here. I don't know if you guys can see this little bit of a outline, because that's going to be what another empire's space is colored. We do have this. So we have Lost Souls 1. Your scout comes to you, breathless from exertion, between gasps. He tells you that he spied another tribe not far ahead. He leads you on, then after giving a stop signal, you drop to your bellies and crawl forward in the brush. Ahead, a young woman no more than 13 summers is leading a ceremony. Her audience, a dozen or so equally younger tribesmen. Many are crying, and when you see the bodies laid out, you understand they are in mourning. You know what you must do. So we could either welcome, which is we accept that the children need care and shelter, and that gives us a growing tribe army, which is pretty good. But there's a chance of triggering another narrative event, which could potentially not be so good, or we could withdraw. I think we're going to welcome them, because I want the extra army. Free population, man. Very powerful. So there is another empire up here, it looks like, on our same continent, which is kind of unfortunate.
Time for your first battle? I bet you're
Oh, we can
absolutely
fight them.
dying to see how your fighters handle themselves.
Sure. Let's fight them. So we can manual battle. I think we want these people to be a bit closer up here.
Right.
Then we can end deployment. So they get to go first, because they are close. I wonder where they've run to.
We move. Can't do that. No way. No way.
There they are. They're up here. So I guess this run we're starting off a pretty aggressive strategy, given that we immediately found these people and have decided to try and fight them. But it looks like we actually might be in a bit of trouble since they have the high ground, which is kind of annoying. Oh wow, that's way more than damage than I thought. We really low rolled those rolls super hard, which is super unfortunate.
Right. Nature forbids us. Beyond us. Forget that.
So these people can go grab this food. Yeah, we might be in a lot of trouble actually because of this. But now we rolled a lot better. And we can move up here. And then we can flank. Which gives us the advantage we need to kill them. Excellent job, guys. Good job, team. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Getting rid of one of their armies is very nice. And we can kind of run away.
This way. What's over there? This way.
Oh, apparently we can't get over there that way.
My people.
I didn't see that from above. Interesting. Wonder if we can destroy their settlement. We probably don't have enough troops to do that, but we can go destroy the sanctuary and gain some food for free. We gained a population at our city.
We move.
And we successfully plundered, which is nice.
On.
So we have another event. A tribe's legacy. You stand at a crossroads. For many moons the tribe has trekked the wilderness slowly, tortuously, learning the secrets of this world, how the materials hidden in the deep places and in plain sight might be fashioned to the tribe's advantage, how the beasts and plants of the lands and seas can be most fruitfully harvested, and how myths and stories can glacially but inescapably give power over our greatest enemies, other tribes. Now you must decide in what domain the tribe will truly sharpen its knowledge for the age to come. Will you be renowned as makers, farmers, or charmers? They're all pretty strong. So the makers is only a lack of imagination will limit what we might one day fashion with our hands, which gives us waddle and daub, which is +1 industry per population on city or outpost. We have farmers. We'll study the land and all its riches, and we will never lack for sustenance, which gives us plant lore, which is an extra food per population. I am partial to this one because I know later in the game it can get hard to keep enough food for everyone. So an extra 40 food would be a lot. Storytellers will create myths that spread our renown, our beliefs well beyond our land. Which gives us astronomy, which is +1 science per population, which is also very good. So I'm quite torn because I do really like getting the science, but I also think just growing the population quite a bit faster is really strong. So I'm going to take that. I'm also kind of interested in playing a more population growth based game, because usually I play very science-y, and this gives us a chance to do something a bit different. Is it these people? Shouldn't be these people. Yeah, it's not those people.
Right.
Nice.
This way. We move. Onwards. This way.
Either way, it's quite weird.
Yes. This way. Onwards.
Another event. Mortuary, anyone? Disposal of the dead is a great concern now that roots have been made and your outpost population is growing. Excuse me. In fact, a delay in performing last rites on some recent dead has attracted wolves, threatening the balance of the departing spirits and jeopardizing their path to the other world. The protection of the tribe is at stake. Do you embrace new ways of administering last rites or stick with the old customs? So we could cremate, which would give us +1 combat strength for 20 turns, which is fine. +2 science for embalm, or 25% less domestication cost for leave. We're not really super close to any of the stars to get to the next level, which is kind of annoying. I think we're just going to pick leave, because that'll give us a really fast domestication.
We move.
Oh, there's... Oh. This is an interestingly shaped continent. Looks like there's a bunch of lakes in the middle there. Ah, so we get some free food here. Oh, we're going to have to stop here. So I found a woolly mammoth. Oh, multiple woolly mammoths, wow.
What's over there?
To quote Jurassic Park, they do move in herds. I don't know why I felt the need to quote that, but you know, it's an all-time great quote. Oh, I guess I can't actually see the city up here.
Right.
Spooky. I'm actually gonna go down there instead. So we have an urgent affairs, a world of flame. In the distance, a thin cord of smoke cuts up into the clear blue skies. Fire, calling a few tribesmen, you run closer. The smell of cindered bark and burning pine growing stronger with each footfall. You spy dancing flames and suddenly find yourself on the edge of a settlement on fire. Many of the structures are ablaze, but even with the smoke and flames, you can see these abodes are marvels of craftsmanship. You're about to direct your men to put out the fires with loose soil when you see short, shadowed figures running away, youths. They could become part of your tribe if you give chase now, but that would mean losing the secrets of construction. What is your choice? So I think we're going to save the people. Again, I think getting a free group here is pretty good. And not super worried about getting cheaper city defense. I think it's less strong than domestication. We want to continue up into here and, you know, I want to try and ransack their outpost, but I don't know if it'll let me.
This way.
Now we're gaining population quickly. And we should be able to go get that science one that I saw.
We move.
Can I ransack this now? I can certainly try. Ah, so we did get the science error star from that. That's good. So we can choose now. So for anyone who doesn't know how this game works, basically, when you advance the era, you pick a different civilization, basically, or a different culture for each era. So now that we're leaving the Neolithic era and entering the Ancient era, we get to pick one of a few cultures, and each of the cultures has a different specialty. So we've already got 4 people who have picked the Nubians, the Mycenaeans, the Harappans, and the Egyptians. So we're left with the choice of the Joe, who are what's considered aesthete or aesthete, however you say it, which basically gives you more influence through the game. There's the Phoenicians, who give you more money because they're merchants. The Olmecs, who are also aesthete. The Hittites, who are militarist. The Babylonians, who have science. Unfortunately, someone picked the only agrarian society, which is kind of what I was hoping to get, but I think it makes a lot of sense that it was picked quite early. I'm thinking leaning towards the Babylonians, because they benefit from building both science and farmers, which is something I really like. These guys I don't really... I guess this is pretty good, and the Syrian raiders are seem like they might be useful. The Hittites are not really what I'm looking to do. +1 combat strength is good, but I don't know if it's exactly what I'm trying to do because I don't know how much like war I'll actually be waging. I kind of like the Olmecs. +1 influence on each territory is like pretty reasonable. And the Olmec head gives influence food and extra influence for farmers' quarters, which is good too. So they're basically like the Babylonians, but for influence. But I think I'm going to take the Babylonians. I think the +2 science per research technology on the capital is like really, really good. And this is also quite good. Though I would have really liked to take the Harapins, because this would have been like really useful for like the entire game. But unfortunately, we were a bit too late for that. So we're going to go with the Babylonians, who I've played in my first playthrough. Though I guess I could try something different. I don't really want to do like the money thing. I don't think that's particularly exciting. I'm playing these in another playthrough, and they're also not that exciting. So it's really between like these ones, and I don't really want to do the Assyrians because I'm just not interested in being as aggressive and as expansionist as I think these people need to be. So I think I'm just going to pick the Babylonians. It's just easy.
And the challenges of a young civilization. It's hard keeping up.
Oh, I got an achievement. I assume it's for having killed 0 animals in the entire thing.
Humankind learns quickly that everyone.
Or like the first set.
If you're terrified of
which is
wild animals, you can grow lentils or catch
Pretty
fish.
uncommon since a
Tribes
major part of the
settle
early game
towns.
is killing animals
Towns
to
develop
get food.
markets, and markets begin the exchange of goods, services, and most important, rumors and hearsay.
Excuse me.
This
Again.
means more than just markets for the Babylonians. It's also the beginning of mathematics
Looks like we're about to start a fight.
and a set of codified laws.
A fight that we
that
vastly
I wouldn't
outnumber
want to
them.
be caught breaking.
How is the topography? So we need to get up here, I guess? Sure. Oh, they can actually attack down there. Interesting. It's a good thing they are much weaker than we are. I can't make it all the way there. Okay, well, we'll just flank them like this then.
All together. All together.
Turns out that scouts are much more skilled fighters than random tribesmen. Also, I have 3 groups and they only have 1. I really want to see if I can just eliminate this civilization right off the bat. That seems really good. That would be a pretty significant departure from how I normally play this game. 21 and 4 is a lot. I think I actually am going to explore a little bit more over this way, see if there's a better place over here to put my city. But I doubt there is. That was pretty mint. Like 15 and 11 is like really, really good. Yeah, we'll just do that actually. So I can make this into a city, which is cool. But I don't know if that's going to increase the cost of my extra territory. I don't think it does. So now we can build stuff on our city, and I think we're going to start with the farmers' quarters because I really value the early food. For science, we're going to quickly research domestication since we have like a significant reduction in the cost. So we savagely destroyed that outpost, but it looks like they have another one up here.
Off we go.
So we discovered a natural wonder, which is in these people's territory. Interesting. So we have the calendar, which gives us access to the artisan quarter, and I think we have some, yeah, we have a bunch of different resources in each of our territories that we're going to want to place the artisan quarter on, so we're going to get access to that quickly. Oh wow, this continent goes pretty far. Is this a city or an outpost? Can I ransack it? I mean, it must be an outpost,
Off
because...
we go. Come over here. Let's go.
Or at least I would think it would be an outpost, because they were still tribes, like, last turn. And they have experienced a pretty significant setback, and are about to suffer another one. Oh, they built another thing there. Interesting. And they're much stronger.
No fear.
Now we can go beat it, but deer. I'm just going to instant resolve this, because I don't really think it's particularly interesting to watch some scouts beat up a deer.
Follow me.
Nice, so we successfully took out their only land. And we have found another group of them, but they retreated. I think we're seriously causing problems for this other civilization. And honestly, it's pretty funny, so I'm going to keep trying to do it.
Follow me.
Oh, so they want to fight. I see, I see. Manual battle. Sure. That's fine. Deployment. So they are still tribes.
No mercy. No fear. Go.
Ah, it survived. Unlucky. What is that roll? Jesus. So I think we want to maybe try and retreat these people back to... Ooh. Well, seems like we're not going to be able to retreat our people to friendly territory. Bit unfortunate. But it's
Off
alright.
we
We've
go.
already profited a lot from being up there.
Follow
Interesting.
me.
This continent is pretty big. It's a very interesting
Come over
shape.
here.
Maybe I can just attack.
Now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we can just block them out like this, maybe. But they have
Over this way.
a bit of high ground over here.
Let's go.
Oh, so I can't even get up there. Interesting.
Follow me.
That might be a bit troublesome then.
Over this way.
I guess we wait and see what they do. So they do fall for it and come out into the
Strike first. Strike hard.
not a great roll.
For your family. Charge.
That was a pretty good roll. makes sense. I find it interesting how the battles in this
A
game
city means shelter for those who need
go.
it. A place to store food. Pens for the pigs. It may not be glorious, but it beats sleeping under trees.
Like across multiple turns like this. So we can't actually go up here.
Let's go. For your family.
So we could kill them, maybe not. We do kill them. Nice. So they lost another group, but apparently we also lost a group. Which is quite unfortunate, and our scouts are quite low. I don't know if they'll be able to make it back if they have any other groups there.
I'm on it.
But they should probably be running low, I would think.
Over
I'm gonna
this
see
way.
if these guys can get up there too to start harassing them. Maybe it's these people who became the Olmecs, though. It looks like they do have a second space as well, which is pretty surprising
Let's go.
considering that
Yeah.
I've killed like 5+ of their tribes. So these guys have become the Assyrians.
The Assyrians. The fact that they have...
This is where I greet you. Impress
So they're
upon you the
aggressive because their
wonder of
strength
my
is
people,
comparable, and they're
and
not.
tell you my
They don't like me
ambitions. No?
because I
Maybe?
trespassed.
A proposal
don't like
for
me.
you.
Unlucky. How do they have so many troops? Jesus.
Right.
Okay, well we're just gonna run away then. Try and come around the coast or something.
Right.
Unfortunate that
Will
I
do.
couldn't get rid of them.
Let's go.
I maybe could have if I
Follow me. Of course.
had gone about it a little bit differently.
Come
I
over
don't have
here.
embarkment technology yet, so that's just a lost group.
Off we go. Let's do this.
Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Over this way.
Oh, I discovered a river. Right here. Wait, where is it? I guess it's all of this.
Follow me.
So I guess I want to place an outpost somewhere around here then. But it's not actually going to tell me how much things are right now.
Follow me.
How do they have so many units? That I don't understand. We're going to attach this. No, we're not going to do that right now. Because we need more influence before we do that. Or, because I want to build a thing over here. Yeah, we're just going to accept that these guys are dead. Because they are too injured to survive. Which is unfortunate, but like I said, can't really do much about it. Carpentry next. really am like so unsure of how
I'm on it.
they managed to still have 3 units after I killed like 7 or like 4 or 5, however many it was.
Over here.
It's a curiosity. So which one of these was the Seine River? I don't understand. Ooh, we gained a population. So where was that other empire? I swear I saw them right there. Cannot go there. But we can build one of these, I think, somewhere. Plus 18 plus 6 plus 13 plus 8. 12, 12. 10, 10, 12, 12 it is. Okay, well, let's find a new path, I guess. Oh, you think 18.6 is better than 12.12? Pretty sure you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. 18.6 is definitely better than 19.4. And this is twice as much industry for 6 less food, so we're just gonna go with that. Build again. You can make an artisan's house to get some extra stuff. Can't attach this yet, and I want to use money to buy that anyways. Finished carpentry. We got that, which is some extra stuff. And now we're going to research city defense. Just because it's one of the lower cost ones to research.
Let's go.
You have something to say?
Do I have something to say? I don't know, but I don't like you guys. You have a traitorous archetype? That sounds pretty sketch.
Off we go.
You might have to gear up for war.
No fear. Now.
That'll take quite a bit for us to actually be able to go to war, because we don't really have very much military right now. Just have these scouts. Hey Jeff, how's it going?
Right. Come over here.
So now we can buy this, which is what we wanted to do before we attach that territory.
Come over here.
8 influence. So that, I guess this is the like bounds of our continent roughly. Just around here. So you finished our city defense research.
Let's go. Over this way.
Gonna go grab that. found Yellowstone. That's cool. I discovered the Mississippi. Cool. Looks like it goes through a bunch of territories. Oh, we found a group of warriors. Well, that'll be
Follow me.
helpful towards our end goal of destroying
Strike first. Strike hard.
whoever these people were, the Assyrians. Can't quite attach yet. I need to wait one more turn for that. What do I need? Oh, we're gonna put these people in food. Excuse me.
Over this way. Follow me.
I guess we probably don't want to go too close to them because they're kind of already mad at us.
Let's go.
And so they might attack my units and I don't want to lose them before a potential war. Can't buy this yet, unfortunately.
Let's go.
So now we can attach this, which is good. Because we can do that. I do want to make another, oh, so many mammoths, what the hell's going on? This one's very injured too. Just running right through my town, jeez. Some spooky stuff. Oh, I found Mount Roraima. Which mountain is it?
Perhaps its name
This one.
means haircut of the gods.
Cool. Then I'm gonna try and claim this territory at some point, I think, because there's a pretty big benefit to having that in your territory. I like shamanism more than this, because I have more population than I have attached territories, and pretty much will through the whole game. So. So we have a new event as well, a carcass of riches. Wild animals in the forests around Babylon have always been hunted for their meat, but now an inventor in the city believes the carcasses can be put to other uses too. They believe the carcasses can be harvested for their military, decorative, or subsistence applications. How should the bodies be used? So we have militarize. Everything from horn to hoof will be used to better equip our soldiers, which gets us patriotic, which makes them cheaper, like military units that is. We have barter, which gives us prosperous, which is +5 money for 20 turns, which is okay. Or harvest, which gives us +5 food for 20 turns. And that will give us a lot more access to population, which is, I think, what I prefer, so we're gonna go with that. Maybe if it was science, I would have taken science, but like, I think the other way is better. Oh, we discovered a forest too. Where? Oh, over there. I see. Very exciting. There's also horses here. This will be a good place to put an outpost.
I'm on it. Come over
Because I
here.
don't have horses anywhere else, I don't think. Right, I have copper though. Anyways, we also have a new empire, or a civic. So we can choose a civic, which is our founding myth. So by what right do we rule? Natural right. We can claim inherent dominion over the land and beasts, which is +5 influence on the main plaza. Or divine mandate, which gives us +3 faith on territory. I prefer enact natural right, because I think the influence is more important than the faith.
Why was this even a question?
We
Let's
also
keep
have
it simple.
legitimacy, which
We've
I
been
can't
here.
actually do
It's
right
our
now.
place.
So we'll wait until next turn.
No mercy!
Ransack this peaceful encampment for money.
Come over here.
You know, questionable though it may be. So we've researched masonry. We successfully ransacked. And now we're going to research irrigation. Since we have a lot of rivers in our territory, and the infrastructure from irrigation gives extra food on river spaces, which is really good.
Right.
I guess these people might go there first. Yeah, somewhere in here is going to be good for a place. Maybe even make it a city. Or I guess I could make this a city first.
Off
These
we
people
go.
make it there first, so they're gonna go try and find the wounded mammoth to kill it for the extra money.
I'm on it.
It's right here.
Attack!
Unfortunately, I
No mercy.
messed up where I was going, so
Over this way.
not able to get rid of it this turn.
Come over here.
Ooh, another event, a melody for every occasion. In the teeming, iconic city of Babylon, musicians are a celebrated part of the local culture with a long history and holy rites. They bring nobility to religious rituals, jollity to palace celebrations, smiles to the sick and ailing, courage to marching armies, and distraction to the gods. Alas, they are still too small in number, especially the good ones. And now, word of their renown has reached across the empire. Lords, priests, commanders, among others, are grousing that their city deserves such artists too. How will you satisfy them? So we could muster street musicians riddle Babylon. They could help commerce elsewhere even, if they distract learning. Which would give us parsimonious on Babylon, which would be extra money and less science. Or we could pay some money and build, which would give us music institutions everywhere and give us overproductive for 20 turns, which is a lot of industry for the early game. So we're going to go with that, I think. Use it to try and pump out like a few buildings. Can I even catch this stupid mammoth? Probably not.
Yes. Okay. Over this way.
Hopefully it comes back this way.
Right.
So we can almost place another one, I think. Yeah. 2 turns. So first we'll get our guys over into that area.
Off we go.
Oh. So there is an independent city somewhere. My question is where? Because those are mercenaries.
Let's go. Let's go.
I want to find these people so I can start trying to assimilate them into my empire. But first, I want to try and make one of these in somewhere in this area. 13-6, 11-7, 11-5. 11-6, 15-5. 13-2, 13-6. 13-6 is pretty okay. Sure. Because now we have this nicely in our territory. So this is actually not touching any of our other territories, so we will need something in between at some point.
Over this way. Acknowledge.
Maybe they're on the island. Ah, we got the agrarian Aristar. Cool. Finished irrigation and got a scientist Aristar as well. So how are we doing in terms of Aristars? Not too bad. I don't know what this is. But yeah, so we got a scientist star, one of these. Not doing too well on the expansionist stars. The builder star is close, which is good. We are on our way to
Will do.
getting another
Let's do this.
scientist star. This one plus 3 or plus 2 plus 3, which is much better. So we got people to convert to our religion. I believe. Yes. We got that, which is good. Why do they want to fight?
Got it.
Maybe they actually just came from here. Hopefully they don't want to fight. Because I will retreat. Yep. Retreat. Here are some peaceful people. But I don't see them anywhere on the map. Interesting.
Off we go.
So we have an event, which is not actually an event. We just get music as we just get this, which is creating an institution dedicated to music in every city. Was an excellent idea. Performers produce refined, delicate compositions, and many pay for the privilege to hear them play music as a serious, or to hear them play. Music is a serious artful practice carried out by trained adepts. The strict classical musical culture is well established. It just gives us nothing, and then we get this, which is the growing faithful, and the Empire's religion grows. More and more followers coming into the faith every day. Some practice their belief through ceremonies led by priests, while others guide their own worship. It is time to give blessing to one of these means. So we have religious rites, which gives us the option between communal rites, which gives us procession, so we can spend money to increase stability, or personal rites. The act of worship is a sacred act between a believer and a higher power, which gives us less cost on religious district industry costs. I don't know, that's quite a bit of a reduction if we're wanting to build the religious things, and I'm probably not going to use procession, so I'm just going to
I
go with this
suppose
one.
there are some things that are best done alone.
Because that just seems like a better idea.
Understood. Off we go. Come over here.
So we got the builder star now. How are we doing? Oh, we're right up there with the orange people. Oh, these people second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, I had to go answer a silly question.
Follow me. Off we go.
So there is now a thing. So I have to wait for them to become an independent peoples. I'm gonna build stone rings because I want my religion to have a nice holy site. Can I actually make this area over here a city now? Not yet, because there's still not a... So we got fishing. And we'll research bronze working, because it's going to be quick. Also, because it might be good to actually start building some kind of military up, since we want to actually try and get rid of those people. So we can patronage these people. 80 of gold. And 80 influence.
Let's go. Over this way.
How much does it cost to make this a city? 320, that's quite a bit. It's gonna make people move around. Get a good amount of science and stuff.
Follow me.
We have a new event as well, which is Keepers of the Creed. An unexpected rivalry has erupted between two temples in Babylon, each representing a different sect of Babylonian shamanism. One temple argues that religious matters should be left in the hands of dispassionate men, while the other contends that only women with their capacity for nurturing life possess the necessary understanding for these affairs. These quarrels must stop before your inhabitants start fighting each other. Who should be your religious leaders? So we could have men, which would increase or make us a more traditional society, women, which would also make us a more traditional society, or everyone, and then we could be a little bit more progressive, which I think is what we're going to do. Because everyone should be able to lead religions. Not that that's necessarily a particularly desirable thing, but you know, that's what the game allows. So I'm pretty sure there's another group of people somewhere who are making themselves into a city.
Over this way. Yeah.
These people are quite up in my business. Oh, I have a new grievance. Presumably against these people. They claimed a territory on our border where? Here? They're quite rude. Quite rude indeed. But I'll just renounce my grievance. I'm not super worried about it. I guess I could have left it for a few turns,
Over this way.
since it lasts 10 turns. For right now, I'm just going to hold these people here. Oh, we have a new civic as well. Fate of the Free Cities. Let's go take a look. how should we use other people's? So we could have mercenary armies, which poses the question, why let our own blood be spilled when we can pay others to fight? Makes us more globalist, and gives us 50% less higher army cost, or assimilated peoples, which says we become stronger by opening our arms to new communities, and gives us less assimilation cost. And I want to assimilate them because I like having the extra cities, so I'm gonna.
They may have more to
Say
offer
that.
than just their weapons. Assimilation does seem practical.
Especially since I want to get them to join us in the fight against these people. Assimilation is more permanent than the alternative. Research bronze working. We can now research writing. Apparently have another civic. First there's the urgent affairs, which is the flooded lands. An unrelenting deluge of rainfall lashes down upon the great city of Babylon and surrounding lands. If the rains don't stop soon, the banks of the great river that thread through the city will burst, flooding the adjacent quarters. With limited time and resources, the choices are stark. What do you do? So we could gamble, which is leave it all to fate. Maybe the rains will cease, which has a chance of terrible consequences. Adapt. Limited adaptation should mitigate the biggest risks, and the rains might relent in any case, which gives us 60 less cost and a chance of bad consequences. Or protect. An expensive dike around Babylon will ensure the city is protected from any flood threats. It's 120 gold, but has a chance of good consequences. I think we're going to go with this. The risk of like the bad consequences is alone worth avoiding. I think the chance of having something good happen instead is very, very good. We are not politically aligned. Unfortunate. I wonder if I can finish this with gold now. Oh no, just the population, but I don't want to do that.
Let's do this. Of course. Come over here. Over this way.
I could pay a bit more money into this.
Let's go.
Try and get them to come to our side faster.
Come over here.
Oh, there's a new city state too. And we also want to try and convince them to join us, so. Or an
Devotion
independent
and
power.
respect for authority.
We achieve
Good.
the following deed: build a holy
Just be
site.
careful
Nice.
of fanaticism.
Quickly build another one of these. It only takes like 4 turns and gives us access to more resources. Don't really want to attach that right now. Whew, that's so expensive. I guess I have to get to more of a world focus to get them into my side. What is it saying that I have civic still? Oh, legitimacy. I guess I never did this. We're gonna go with this.
That
less cost
seems
of
to leave a
creating
lot of
outposts.
interpretation of right and wrong. Not to mention yours and mine.
Can't believe I forgot to do that. That's really annoying. Oh well. Nice. So we got saved. Because the Great Dike was constructed in rapid time at your behest, and a provident choice it turned out to be too. The deluge didn't relent, but despite the endless rains, Babylon and its people and property remained safe, only suffering some wet and shivering skin. Better yet, the farmland became even more fertile in the rain's aftermath, so we have bountiful on Babylon, which is plus 15 food, which is nice. Ooh, we have fallen far behind the first place people in terms of stuff. But we're pretty close to this. We're not very close to this, probably because we haven't made any new cities yet. But, you know, eventually, hopefully, we'll get these people to join us.
Debate and discussion are not
Nice, so
the
we got
first time.
research. A new
Now, things that one generation learned can be passed to the next via
grievance
something
available.
more reliable than campfire.
What do you want now?
I don't care.
Let us not rush.
They're not my people. So we're almost at the scientist star. It's going to take a while because we haven't started a second city, which I think has probably been a mistake. This is free now. Get this.
Let's go.
Not really a lot going on right now since I have to spend a lot of time waiting and saving for stuff. Do I want any of these? Could build Stonehenge. I don't really want either of these. We'll just save our resources. Got an idle city here, so we can build something. I think we're going to build important infrastructure. I think this will do quite a bit for us. Then we have the pecking of poultry. The art of divination spreads across the empire. Priests search for messages from the gods in animal entrails, the flights of birds, the wheeling of the stars in holy decoctions, and elsewhere. Now, however, the practice has become so commonplace, so bizarre, that the whole empire is sliding towards chaotic superstition. Even the eating patterns of chickens are being interpreted by the military commanders. What to do? So we can embrace, which would give us celebrating, plus 10 stability. Forbid, which would give us fanatical, plus 25% space, or reason, which would give us extra science. I think we want science. I think our science is a bit lacking. And getting us towards the extra science star stuff, since it gives us more fame points, which is important for us. Jesus, how are these people so far ahead? What is going on? Yeah, I definitely needed to get another city before this, I think. It's unfortunate because I probably could have got one a while ago if I had remembered to actually do the civic.
Come over here. Follow me. Keeping an eye on you.
so we got the merchant star, I guess, from randomly making enough money. We're almost at the aesthete star. We'll get the science star soon. These two are pretty far off, though. This is even farther away. So we finish the wheel, which actually does get us the science star right away, which is good. Let's go with sailing. Oh, we had enough to make a city. I want to make this the city. Oh, but nicely we get to do this first, I think. Which gets us horses. So that we could maybe build horse people. I guess we can only get the, we don't have copper, unfortunately. Let's build this. Plus 10 food looks pretty good. Oh, so we got the asset star. Now we just need one more star. Yeah, we're not really close to any, unfortunately. That's kind of the problem. So we have a game of prophecy. With the Empire thriving, a new game hailing from a foreign land beguiles the population. Everywhere you go, the distinctive game board in pieces. Catching your eye, insisting on a public demonstration. You play the game under instruction in your palace court, but the event has a sting in the tail. The game is reckoned to be a form of divination as well as entertainment. Gasps could be heard. As the game's prophecy became clear, you are fated to lose everything. What will you do? So we could overlook, which is defiant, -5 stability. We could silence, which just pay 80 gold, which is for sure what we're going to do. We're superstitious, which is a science production, which is pretty bad, so we're just going to silence them. Usually not a huge fan of silencing people, but what has to be done has to be done. I'm actually just going to finish that right away, and then I'm going to build this next to it. Even though it's going to take a while. This is the purple people. Purple people are a little bit further behind us in terms of stars and stuff, which is good. So I only needed 320 influence to integrate these people into my land. Interesting. So the last of our line. A troubling truth has emerged regarding the great stable megalopolis of Sipar. Many servants from the city's palace have been castrated at the command of the local ruler. Pretty horrible, but kind of par for the course for ancient society. Excuse me. These eunuchs are believed to be more loyal, and they are said to play a number of roles, from courtier to singer to guard. What is your view on this matter? So we could accept. Which puts a little bit further into the individualism. We could punish, which gives us forced labor, +5 industry, -5 stability. I'm leaning towards that, or we could adopt, which gives us lockdown, +10 stability, -2 industry. I think we can deal with having the little bit less stability to get the extra, yeah, because that really speeds up our building of this lovely building here, the astronomy house. Here we can build something else. I really think we want to continue our focus on building infrastructure, because when I was playing the tutorial I kind of learned that it's pretty important to have infrastructure, even if it might not necessarily seem as important as it actually is.
Why are you here?
You're oppressing my people still? I don't care, that's fine. They're not my people, they're their people. So we can research organized warfare, because when we eventually do go to war, it's going to be really important that we have access to reinforcements. Because it means we can put troops next to each other, and they can start to join in the battle, which is going to be a huge plus. We are doing pretty well in terms of fame this time, as opposed to the tutorial where I was really falling far behind. So we have another thing of dogs and wolves. Alarming tidings from Sipar, the heart of the Empire's most important breadbasket region. Shepherds in the city's surrounding lands claim that wild beasts are killing their livestock in an unprecedented number. They warn you that if nothing is done, you'll lose both a source of food and valuable pelts. What do you do? So we could guard, which places dogs. It's only 20 gold, and gives us a high chance of good consequences. We have ignore, which has a chance of unexpected consequences. I think we're going to avoid this. Or we could have this, which is sacrificing on 2 cities for 20 turns, which is a ton of food down, but cheaper units, which I'm not too worried about right now. I think we're going to go with guard. Like 20 gold is nothing. Oh, this is one of the places where I actually can't control what people are doing, right? Yeah. But I can make one of these. Get access to this, and I can also make one here as well. Oh. We're actually going to wait a couple turns to go up the era, because I want to finish the astronomy house, because I actually think it's going to be really useful later in the game. And that is a strategic decision that we're making. Also, it might give us a chance to get the scientist star, but probably not. Yeah, we're a bit too far off from that. This, though, I can buy in a couple, like next turn, and then we'll go up. Philosophy is what we're going to do. Turn. So the Nubians became the Greeks. That's okay, because I think I want to try and become a agrarian society if I can. So I can buy this now, right? Yes.
5 farmers' quarters for 1 city. Somebody is going down in history with the title of the Satiated.
So we can get another one here. Get more food. And then we can go here. And so our options are the Axamites, which is more money on tiles producing money. Which is actually like a pretty powerful ability, I think. And then the Great Obelisk, which is more money per territories under the religion's influence, extra faith, extra money, less stability, more money for being next to market quarters, which is not very likely to happen. And the Chotelai, which are people who use chotels. We have the Carthaginians, who are similarly... Let's actually see, is there any of the agrarian societies even left? No, right? Yeah, no. Tragic. I could always transcend, but I don't think I want the extra fame. It's crazy that there's like only 1 agrarian and only 1 science per era at the beginning of the game. I mean, science is like that through the whole game pretty much, but it is what it is. I think I'm going to go with the Persians most likely, because I want the extra city cap space, and extra stability on cities is actually very powerful. Also, this is a lot of influence. Just in general. My other options, though, are the Carthaginians, who give you less constructible buyout costs, which is actually very good. Like 25% less on all your costs is good. Also, war elephants. Oops. Who doesn't want war elephants? And then this gives us extra industry per adjacent coastal water, extra industry per adjacent lake. This actually might be good, because we are close to a lot of coast. You know what, we'll try this actually. We'll do something different. I think. Because these people are just extra combat strength when ransacking. These people are more combat strength for cavalry. These people are extra this. And the Romans are extra unit slots. Mind you, I did say I wanted to kind of like... Yeah, we'll try being the Carthaginians. Being able to buy things out seems really strong, and this is actually really good for us, I think.
As urban centers grow, both ideas and sewage are generated at a record pace. Arts and sciences flourish. as military tactics and mathematical equations become as coveted as physical goods. Empires struggled to control these intangibles, however, as some might trouble their stability. Speaking of dealing in intangibles, am I about to see lots of offers that can't be refused?
Hopefully. Hopefully that's a thing that we'll get to do. I guess we were like at the exact same time as the Harpins, and they just barely got to the Celts before us. That's kind of sad. Not a lot of people on their thing. I thought I hit that in my territory, but I guess it's in theirs. Huh? Crazy. That's not good. Anyways, we're gonna get these people to join us. Well, maybe not quite yet. I don't know how to get city cap up. Foreign outposts. That's the first one that you can get a city up, cap up. Jeez. I can just take the
You have assimilated an
negative
independent
resource cost.
people. Every culture, greater or lesser, is a building block in a civilization.
So I gained some troops from that. Looks like just the one thing. Can't quite get them yet, but I think I want to make one here. And I also want to attach this to them. Let's start with infrastructure. Cheap infrastructure is always really valuable because it doesn't take up space, doesn't cost stability, and gives you a lot of stuff. So do you feel like being friends yet?
You have my ear. For a time.
I think you might find this.
Very nice. So the descendant of kings, the filthy, wretched man has come to your empire, claiming to be a descendant of one of the ancient rulers of Wasakani. Without fear, in front of your whole court, he boldly tells you that his people are owed great restitution for the grave offenses you carried out against his ancestors. However, he is willing to forego this redress on condition you fulfill a divine prophecy and let him lead Wasakani. He promises that fulfilling the prophecy will see the riches come to the city. Deny him, and he promises to bring war or famine to your empire. What is your choice? So we could redress, which would give us extra speed. Could accede, which gives us extra money, less science. Or we could do this, which gives us celebrating on Babylon, but unexpected consequences. Don't really want the less science and more money, but actually, it is just on the one city. So I think it's fine to do that. Because it's quite a bit of money. How much is the bio cost of this? It's so much still. Jeez. Oh, this dramatically improves diplomatic stuff, does it? Interesting. So I guess they'll really like us then if we do that for them. Actually, this would have been super useful when we were playing in the tutorial, because then I could have got uranium from my allies.
You have something to say?
again, I think just like the basic infrastructure stuff is really good. We're also gonna make less money so that our food is more stable. Ooh, we have a new event. A steed for a colossus. On the threshold of a new era, in honor of your most famed rule, the citizens of the fabled horse city of Sipar have brought a gift to your court. A stallion towering 18 hands tall. Legend says the horse is untamable to all but the world's most renowned figure. Not quite the world's most renowned figure, but I'm pretty renowned. The steed strains, barely under control of its two handlers. Breaking this horse in full view of your whole court would be quite the statement, but does come with the risk of humiliation. What is your will? So we could have celebrating, which is plus 10 stability for 20 turns. Not super worried about that. We could sacrifice it to the gods, which gives us patriotic and Babylon, but I'm not too worried about that. Or we could get new reinforcements. I kind of just want the new army, so I'm going to do that. Scout riders. Cool.
Follow me. Over here.
People can ride around the continent, see if we can find anything interesting. These people I'm just going to leave here for now. Oh, we got the city cap up somehow.
Debate and discussion
Oh,
are not
philosophy
the
raises the city cap.
pastimes of the
Okay.
idle, but the
I didn't see
actions
that,
of
I guess.
thinkers and movers who will touch every aspect of civilization.
But that's pretty useful to know. So we can claim a wonder if we want. We could claim the statue of Zeus, which gives a bunch of faith, stability, more money per alliance on your empire. We don't have any alliances currently, but we might be able to get an alliance going on. Extra stability on the city or outpost, on district, +1 detection range, +1 vision range. That's good, but I do really like the mausoleum at Halicarnassus because he gives +1 science per district on the city, which is a ton. And this is like extra naval unit stuff. The Colossus of Rhodes is like okay, but not really what I want. I think I'm going to claim this, and then we'll build it later. Because it is a lot of science potentially. And I think that'll be useful as the game goes on. Ooh, we found something. But we don't have open borders. Oh, these people want
Why
to
are
talk
you
about
here?
something? Oh no, they claimed a territory on our border. Renounce. They can...
Oh,
That's fine.
already forgotten.
I refuse their demands of giving the Libertas.
Impossible!
And they
The
withdrew
proposal
their
is worse than bad
demands.
poetry and would last longer.
I heard you.
I don't know why they hate us so much. So now we can do this. Cool. Maybe now that we're trading, they'll be more agreeable. Gilgamesh? No. We're no longer the Babylonians, so that's all gone. Now we're the Carthaginians, so you can expect us to be running over a mountain range anytime now. Whew, that's a lot of... That's really strong there. 11 plus 23, Jesus Christ. What do you mean from legend? I think I might be missing something. War elephant good? I hope so. I hope they're good, because I want to get rid of these people at some point. Unless they decide to be my allies, in which case they can stay. Their population is so low. I trolled them really hard at the beginning of the game. You kind of missed out on seeing me running around their... destroying their outposts before they even became a civilization. It was hilarious to see. Ooh, we have a religious tenant. So we unfortunately missed out on the Seek Wisdom again. So we're not going to get +5 science on strategic resources, but we could get money on luxury resource deposits, which is a lot, because we have a lot of those. Get extra stability on the rivers, which is also a lot. +1 influence on mountains is not that good, I don't think, for us. I don't like this because we're not really doing much military stuff right now. Tithe the wealthy is okay, but someone already has that apparently. We've abstained from intoxicants. Let's go look how much woodland and stuff is next to our cities, because that could be a lot of forest. Or we could purge idleness, which is extra food on coastal waters. Oh, we have lots of coastal waters, so I think we're just going to go with this. Yeah, let's do that. So I think that should be really good for us, because like, look at all this coastal water we have here. It's now just giving us tons of food. Or giving us the option to get tons of food. I probably need to actually build a district close to it for it to work, but... got some extra population here. But they're doing fine. Continue building infrastructure. This is like the quote-unquote normal difficulty. I think it's like the third one up. Metropolis or something. So it's not super difficult. So we have a new civic as well, though. So this is the army composition one, which basically lets us choose between conscripts and professional soldiers. I think we're going to try actually doing this time. Though maybe not. Yeah, no, I think we really want to be closer to this liberty in general, because we have quite a few emblematic districts. Am I the first person on Stadia to actually finish the game? Because it'll be really hard for me to do a proper review. But I can at some point if people want to see it. So if people want to see it, let me know in the comments and stuff later. I can try doing a proper review, I guess. Anyways, I think we're going to enact professional soldiers.
It
Combat
does
strength is actually
seem
really good.
logical that people shouldn't have to do a job unless they want to.
Also, it puts us closer to something that is desirable, which is freedom. Or liberty, I guess. Oh, so they became Babylonian shamans. Cool. I guess that's true. I can try doing that then, I guess. Maybe.
You have built a first harbour to construct and launch the vessels of the Empire. Time to stock up on champagne bottles.
Urgent affairs. Animal magic. As the heart of a season draws close, the common folk are worried. With many farms scattered across the Empire, last year an infestation of rodents, largely rats and mice, plundered the granaries. However, rumors have it that one enterprising village mitigated the problem by using cats, but you also know that sailors use a new kind of predator named a ferret. Which of them will you employ officially? So we have the cats, which will make us more traditional, or ferrets, which will make us more progressive. And I think we want to go towards progress, because I think it's generally just better. So let's do that. How much does this cost to build now? Still like 2K? Jesus Christ. Trade expeditions. 5-minute title. Humankind Stadia review. Yeah. There's like one negative for Yeah, I should probably try that out before I actually would do a review. But there's like one like relatively negative thing about playing this on Stadia, and that's like you can't really access the mods and stuff. And that includes like some of the maps people have made in the map editor. Of Dogs and Wolves 2. The public funds spent on training dogs to help protect shepherds' herds and flocks has been money well spent. Deaths of livestock have fallen dramatically, and the shepherds intend to keep their new best friends. So you get bountiful on Sapar, 10 food on 20 turns. Nice. But other than that one issue, everything about this is like super great. And also, I probably wouldn't even be able to play this not on Stadia, so that's very nice.
Tell me what you
they're
want.
trespassing. What are they doing? I think they're trying to go to war with me. I'll propose open borders to them.
I
No.
think you might find this interesting.
How rude. Why are they in my land? Scythians? Where are the Scythians? There's not even a spot for them to be. I guess they could be here. Yeah, of course. Listen, I wouldn't be doing like a biased review. That would be ridiculous. Ooh, so much influence this requires. A new civic leadership. The capital is the Empire's true seat of power, but now other cities with energetic populaces rise to prominence. Their leaders and other influential figures want sway over the Empire's affairs, and the question of who wields power must be answered. Let's see. So we could have a small council, which would put us towards stability and give us an extra city cap, which is pretty good. Or we could have an autarch, which would give us extra stability. I think we want the extra city cap
Most
stuff,
problems
so we're going to go with that for
eventually
sure.
yield to the onslaught of more brains.
Are we closer now? A little bit closer. Oh, the Scythians are here. Cool. We're pretty close to the Scythians, actually. So we're gonna try and get them to join us. Then we have a Weave of Iron and Blood. In recognition of your elevated status on the world stage, a great artist has been accompanying you and your retinue as you travel the Empire and beyond. Now, many months later, the artist and their team have completed their great masterpiece, a brilliant tapestry that stretches the length of the palace. In its embroidered scenes are depicted great glories, marvelous cities, and the people's adulation of your rule. How should such a marvel best be used? So we can hang it and get patriotic, which, again, gives us lower costs. Divide and have people carry it, which is ferocious for 20 turns, but that's kind of short. And one combat strength over that many turns is not that big of a deal, because I don't think we're likely to go to war over that time, or we could sell it and get prosperous. Just extra money. So we're going to do that. Also, you know, later narrative events are always fun. We're going to buy this out, just to get it over with. Then we're going to do this. Ooh. So we finished our trade expeditions research. We're going to use the standing army. Get access to iron.
You have something to say?
Oh yeah, there's these grievances. Gonna renounce all this stuff.
Already forgotten.
Hopefully that will make them happier. We can become friends. discovered Sumatra. I don't know how, because weird. Huh, interesting. Oh, someone reached the classical era already? Or wait. I was thinking of the next era. We were already in the classical era. Is there anywhere I can actually place an extractor? Oh, they stole my iron. Bitches. That means war for sure. War for sure. I'm doing the thing again. So we finished standing army. We got an era star. And we can quickly research fortifications. Very nice. Pretty close to an agrarian star as well. I'm gonna sacrifice a population for this. And I'm gonna start building the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Getting a wonder seems pretty useful. What are these? Oh, those people are just hanging out on top of these people's stuff. That's funny. So I can now assimilate these people into my empire. Oh, 27 food there. That's insane. So we've got these armies now too. They can hop in on this project, get it down to 36 turns. It's a lot faster. Is there anywhere to attach to this? It'll be too much of a stability penalty though. We'll have to wait. We have an event. Fool's Gamble in the prosperous city of Wasukani. The game of dice has become a favorite pastime of poor and wealthy alike. What was once entertainment is now serious business. Whereas the poor play for scraps, the stakes can be much higher for the city's wealthy. Now one incredibly rich citizen has gambled away his entire fortune to a fellow citizen, leaving him destitute. What is your say on gambling? Consent when concern of yours is a private wager between two people. Chances of triggering another narrative event. Prohibit. Lock down on Wasukani for 20 turns, which is less industry, more stability, or control. Parsimonious. Extra money, less science. We're going to do that. It's quite a bit of extra money. Not a lot of extra science to lose. Just station them here. Ready for war. Got my fortifications researched. Then we can research, not this yet, we're going to research rhetoric. Oh. Interesting. Too costly to do that right now, but we can wait a bit. Got a new grievance.
What do you want now?
We're still comparable.
You have something to say?
I feel like at some point you should be like less aggressive towards us. Especially since like you're buying my resources.
I have a proposal.
Assholes. We do have a new civic though, which is industrial production, which we could nationalize industries, move ourselves towards collectivism, and extra farmer slot on each city per farmer's quarter, or privatize industry, which gives us extra trader slots. I think we want the extra
National
farmer slot.
control of vital products and resources, paradoxically,
I'm also
could provide
a
more
huge
freedom
fan
and
of
autonomy.
that's a pretty strong group there. I think I can upgrade these people soon. Not without the iron that these people have tragically taken away from me. But if I can get the Scythians to join me and I get their units, then I can maybe declare war. There's an owl outside my house. I can hear it hooing. It's going a little bit nuts. I don't know if you guys, anyone can hear it on the video, but, or like on the stream, but, you know. Just want you all to know it's there. I'm going to end on turn 145. Which is pretty soon coming up. We have a new thing, religious tolerance, which is interesting because we're pretty religious. Let's see. We have the option between open-mindedness, which lets people do whatever they want, which gives us extra influence if territories follow the state religion. Or religious hostility, which gives us faith on territories and adds a new grievance against empires with a different state religion. I think we're just going to go open-minded, but I don't have enough influence to do that right now. So we'll have to wait until next turn. This time I naturally will actually remember to do that. I'm going to do it right now.
It all sounds well and good, until they start worshipping delivery services and bank accounts.
We have the first calendar. We want the solar calendar. It'll put us like farther into progressive or progress, which is better for us than tradition, I think. Finished researching rhetoric, and we can now research conquest, which will make it cheaper when we attach the libertas to avarice. Seems like someone else is trying to get in our influence score. Spooky. A new civic. Slaves. So we either have criminal slaves, those who break our laws will become vassals for the empire. On common quarter, food and industry. Or war slaves, which gives us +1 bonus population per ranslag. We don't have enough influence to actually enact anything, but I'm thinking we want to do this.
5 makers' quarters. It seems that someone took the phrase, building your future, a bit too literally.
Nah, man, building is important. Get this down to 16 turns. And keep on keeping on.
I can let bygones be bygones.
Yes, our religion will spread along with our culture. We're more influential than them, so hopefully over time they'll become more amicable to us. An event, Grim Foundations. We have 3 more turns, and then I'm going to end. In Babylon, work is proceeding on a magnificent new wonder. What should be a source of pride in the local population, however, is now causing much dread. A terrified citizen has approached your court to tell you that the city's head priest intends to bury alive 100 random citizens near the base of the structure to bring good fortune and pacify the gods. What is your reaction to the problem? We could endorse it, become more traditional, get fanatical for extra religion or extra faith, and lose a population. We could stop it. The population of Babylon will be most relieved for your intervention. Or switch the sacrifice of animals, not people, for being spared. The citizens will pay in military labor. We're just going to stop that. That's ridiculous. So, a couple more turns. I really need to make contact with the other empires, actually. Maybe I'll get a scout somewhere to go over towards here. Oh, now it's only 200 for assimilation, so let's do that. Nice, so we got the expansionist star. Cool. Somehow do not have the merchant star because we don't have enough money. Which is crazy. We have so much money. We have a new army here.
I'm listening.
So we're still comparable though, interesting. They must have quite a bit more military than we do. Oof, 21 food, 19 industry, 3 science. That's insane. So this is the last turn. Yeah, nothing exciting happened, unfortunately, so we can't really end on an extremely high note. Actually, can I buy that? I can't. I'll just buy
5
this.
market quarters is a nice start to a healthy bank account and visits from previously unheard of relatives.
That is not a lot of food. Jesus. That's the best place for it. Oof. Anyways, as I said, I'm going to end this stream here. Thanks to everyone for watching. It was a fun little stream. Played some Humankind. It was good. Hopefully next week we'll go back to the CLW 22 and Bat Pixie Power Hour if Bat Pixie is able to join. Though he might not be able to. I know he's going back to school sometime soon. Anyways, hopefully he'll be able to join at least next week. But yeah, if you want to catch more of this specific game of Humankind, I'm going to be continuing it on Twitch throughout the week probably. I'll probably be playing a bit tomorrow around the same time. My Twitch account is twitch.tv/CLW22. You can find it in the description as well. So make sure to check that out. I'm going to have to fix the links because they are not great. But, you know, you can can also check out my Twitter. I always tweet before, well, 90% of the time I tweet before I'm going to stream, unless it's like a really late night stream. But yeah, so you can keep up with me there. Twitter.com/Slayer of Trolls, again in the description. Yeah, I'll probably be going live in a bit on Twitch as well tonight, to play Genshin Impact, which is like my nightly thing. Usually around 10 o'clock I start playing Genshin, so if that's something you're interested in, make sure to check that out as well. Anyways, have a great night, everyone.